What it do, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 55 of the Axis of Combat podcast. We're here to break down UFC Vegas 92, top to bottom, the entire card. As always, I'm one of your co-hosts, Ray Boogie. Ray, you're from the AO. My brother.
Hugo the boss. Hugo got next. Hugo got the Knicks in 7. You already know. You guys already know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying these visuals right now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know. And before we jump into this card, this UFC card, and the boxing that's coming up this weekend as well, we're going to recap some of our bets from last weekend. We broke even, but as the great Dominic Toretto said, doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile, winning's winning.
Damn right.
So, I see a lot of heat coming in, and I'm just like, all right, cool. But just look at the track record with us. We win more than we lose. So I don't want to hear nothing. But let's get right into it. We'll talk about the losses because I have so few. Pennington's money line. Fleecing, by the way. Complete fleecing.
Yes.
Rebecca, be a knockout or TKO. Not mad at that, but definitely going to start taking into account some of these fighters, these older fighters post-USADA.
And all the Brazilian fighters.
Oh,
sure.
my goodness. And, I seen someone online say that his refrigerator must look like a horror movie. All I see was IV bags in my head with blood in them. You know what I'm saying? Fucking horse blood. I had a parlay for Aldridge, Hardy fight to go the distance, Ricci, Pennington fight to go the distance, McKinney, Ribovich fight does not go the distance, and then Rebecca's money line, which I got blown up on the obvious last one. Ribovich is round 2 because he murdered McKinney in the first round, and I had a knockout prop on Lewis's round 2, and they knocked him out in round 3. All good. And then I had Lomachenko via unanimous decision. Now to jump into the winners. Veronica Hardy's money line. Should have put more on it. I felt really confident about it. Gonna double down next time on some of these, especially when I feel that strongly about it. Woodson's decision. Lewis's knockout. Then I had a parlay for Aldridge, Hardy, Hadley, Johnson, Ricci, Pennington. All of those fights to go the distance. That hit. Then I had another bet for boxing for either fighter to be knocked down at plus money. Hit that as well. Hated that we didn't play the 9 through 12. And if you tune into the last podcast, I said that there was good value on the 9 through 12 for Lomachenko to play it. And of course, I went against my own will, which I hate, but
kind of talked ourselves off of it.
Oh my goodness, man. As soon as that fight started, I said, damn, this fight's not going the distance. But what you got for me, bro? How'd you do?
More or less the same. Broke even. Well, slightly above even. 0.5. I take it. You know what I'm saying? You take it where you can get it. What I got wrong, I took a shot on Billy Goff's money line.
Close fight.
I play that again. Pennington's money line. I had 100% play that again.
Fleecing.
Rebecca's KO. I don't know how to feel about that fight, and Menifield's money line. I will not be playing that again. All he needed to do was wrestle. My man blitzed him on some Gabe Green shit, and then he got put down via some Brian Battle shit. Almost virtually identical kind of style fight there.
Virtually identical.
I had a money line parlay. Woodson, Rebecca, and Lewis. Rebecca being the only downer in that one. Then I had the same fight goes the distance parlay where I had Aldridge and Hardy, Hadley and Johnson, Ricci and Pennington all hit. Long shots. The only long shots I played were the Ribovich round 2 and 3. I finished them in 1.
McKinney.
And for boxing, the Lomachenko unanimous decision. Again, talked myself right off the cliff on that one. Should have played the 9 through 12. What I hit on this card, the Hardy money line, Charles Johnson money line, Woodson decision, Buckley money line, Lewis KO. As I mentioned previously, all the parlay. I don't know why I mentioned them the losers, but
it's all good, man. You got too many winners, that's why. Got to spread them out a little bit.
And then for boxing, either fighter to be knocked down, which was, easy.
Easy.
A little easy there, but
should have max bet that shit, to be honest. It's all good, though.
Altogether, broke even, slightly above even, in black, in the green. We take them, we get them, we move on.
Absolutely.
So now we got UFC Vegas 92. Top to bottom, this card does not look too hot on paper. And when I say it doesn't look too hot, I mean it looks like shit. Not too much star power. Definitely you can tell this is like a fight night card that's happening right before a pay-per-view card. But, you know, we'll find some spots here.
Yeah, this card is, you know, it is what it is. But we're going to get through this one. We're going to find some spots for you. There's some dangerous spots here, so we're going to definitely advise you on that. And let's get into it, brother. What you got for me? Let's get this started. Let's get through the podcast very fast.
First fight on the card at women's strawweight, we have Emily Ducote going one-on-one with Vanessa Demopoulos. Gordina Ducote, 13-8 overall, fighting out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 30 years old. The little monster Demopoulos, 10-5, fighting out of Colorado, hailing from Greece, 35 years old.
Yeah, low-level women's MMA fight.
Yeah, pretty low level between the two here. I'm going to be leaning Ducote here. I'm leaning Ducote because of a couple of reasons. I think she's got the cleaner striking.
Absolutely.
She's definitely got the experience. Former Bellator fighter. Doesn't really have the greatest takedown defense. And I remember Ali Malay just like rinsing it and repeating just takedowns on her. I think she's gotten better since then. I think that's probably Demopoulos' only way to win if she can get her down and then control her, because Demopoulos on the ground, good jiu-jitsu. Besides that, Demopoulos, her striking is super rudimentary, swinging, winging, big lefts and rights just to try to get in. I think Ducote's the smarter fighter. I think she's the more technical fighter. And I do think this fight goes the distance. So my pick is going to be Ducote by decision. And the play is probably fight goes the overs and Ducote decision.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I agree with everything you mentioned. Ducote is definitely the side by decision. Just to add on to what you're saying, Demopoulos' wrestling is not very good. She doesn't really wrestle down. She'll probably jump guard before she gets this girl down, to be frank. And her distance management is terrible. The only reason I really also like this fight to go the distance is also because Demopoulos is very tough and durable. She's going to walk through a lot of shots, eat through a lot of shots, and she's going to try and land the big one and then try to get Ducote to the floor. To no avail, Ducote via decision.
Next fight on the prelims at men's bantamweight, we have the Mongolian Knight Alatengheili going one-on-one with Kleydson K.R. Rodrigues. Alateng, 16-9-2, fighting out of China, 32 years old. Rodrigues, 8-3, fighting out of Brazil, 28 years old. Now, for this fight, if I knew Alateng was going to wrestle,
correct,
probably be an instant hit spot here, especially since Alateng is apparently the dog in this fight. That being said, I am going to be picking Rodrigues to win. I think Rodrigues, young, throws the volume, hits hard. Not as bad on the ground as I thought when you watch the Bashrat fight.
Correct.
He was holding his own there, but, you know.
Gassed.
He gassed. And that's one of the big question marks I have on Kleydson here. I think with the weight with him moving up in weight, I think it should help his cardio. But that being said, I think Rodrigues gets it done here. Maybe KO is live. If this fight goes deep, I can see
a live bet spot for Alateng.
Probably a live bet spot for Alateng. But I'm gonna lean Rodrigues. I'm gonna lean Rodrigues inside the distance, maybe KO.
Yeah, I'm with you here. And I was back and forth on this fight, but it's Rodrigues early, Alateng late. And the only issue with Kleydson is he gasses as the fight goes on, which is why Alateng late, and Alateng doesn't throw a lot of volume and doesn't wrestle and early, you know.
Yeah. They
had a stat that's been floating around. He's if you had to guess how many takedowns he has in the first 2 rounds of all his fights combined, how much would you guess?
I don't know. How much?
0.
Not surprising.
So out of 3 rounds, if he's not going to wrestle for 2 against a guy who I think is a pretty vicious striker, good luck.
He's had a couple of takedowns in his previous fights.
Right.
And yeah, no, he gets his takedowns. They just happen to come late.
Yeah, this is a scary fight to bet on for a lot of reasons. I think maybe round props are live for this, but I'm going to lean Kleydson because I think this is like a fight that he should win, to be frank. I think this is like almost like a give me fight, like a get right fight. and we'll see where you're at, or we're gonna cut your ass kind of fight.
It's more of a shit or get off the pot kind of fight. You know what I'm saying?
Correct, but this is stylistically a good fight for him. A guy who doesn't throw a ton of volume is not gonna wrestle into him. I got Kleydson.
Next fight on the prelims at women's strawweight, we have La Fiera, Piera, Rodrigues going one-on-one with Sorizo. I think that's how to say your nickname. Ariane? Carnelossi? Is that how you tell it?
I think so.
Ariane?
I'll just stick with Carnelossi.
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 That last name, for some reason, is easier to pronounce than her first name.
Carnelossi because of her body, bro.
Yeah, man.
Got bro.
Yeah, she's beefed up, bro. I mean, shit, she puts me to shame. She puts you to shame.
Yeah, I feel small. Look at this picture right now.
Rodrigues, 9-1, fighting out of Venezuela, 31 years old. Carnelossi, 14-3, fighting out of Brazil, also 31 years old. Interesting fight. Carnelossi coming off a 2-year layoff. Apparently, she had back surgery from what was going around, but I don't know how evasive or non-evasive that was. That worries me a little bit. Rodrigues also coming off a bit of a layoff, but I mean, not as long. I think it's like a year and change. I don't like either of these fighters. I mean, not that I don't like them. I don't think they're that.
They're not UFC caliber, to be quite frank.
This is like a fight of bullies. I think whoever can bully the other more is probably gonna win this fight. I'm gonna lean Rodrigues as the pick. I think she's better technically in the stand-up. I don't think she's going to hit as hard as Carnelossi. I also know that she can go to the wrestling. I do question her IQ because of her last fight where she went to the wrestling against Robertson when she shouldn't have. Carnelossi has an 8% takedown defense.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that.
So for that reason alone, I'm going to lean Rodrigues here. But Carnelossi isn't that lost in the ground. She's only been submitted once, and I think that was to Ribas, like in her third fight ever. She's only lost to decent people, Carnelossi. She is definitely going to be the stronger of the two, and I think she's going to be hit harder. And she's got more submission upside, in my opinion.
Submission and knockout upside.
The finishing upside, for sure.
100%.
But again, another fight that I think goes the distance, and I'm gonna lean Piera, and I think it's going the distance. It's Piera by decision.
Well, I'm with you. I'm with you with this fight possibly going the distance. I won't say definitively it's gonna go the distance, but the pick for me is probably gonna be my girl, hard body Carnelossi, bro. Carnelossi.
And
one thing I'm learning, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I'm going to make this pick is purely for two things. I find it kind of funny that she's back after USADA's gone. That's one. Two, this is going to be a fight of the bullies.
Yeah.
And I do think she's going to be able to bully this girl around a little bit. Piera's not that big. Carnelossi's not that tall either, but Carnelossi's bodied up, son. And she has way more of the finishing upside. I think this line's a little crazy. Did you look at the line?
No, what's the line?
Dude, Carnelossi is a plus 180.
I wouldn't say that's that crazy, but it probably should be closer.
In what world, though? Like, I listen. I understand what you're saying. I don't know. From what I'm seeing and from what I've seen from Piera, she has decent boxing. I just don't think she's very good. I'm going to be honest with you. She's not like a finisher. She didn't finish Kay Hansen. She didn't finish Sam Hughes. Jillian Robertson, when she got put on her back, she didn't know what to do. If Carnelossi gets on top of this girl, I probably expect the same thing because Carnelossi probably wrestled into her too.
Oh, no, listen. I think Carnelossi, if you're going to bet this fight, I think Carnelossi is 100% the side. I think this is dog or pass.
Dog or pass. Okay, so yeah, me and you are aligned with this.
We are aligned, but I just think if Piera can just stick to the game plan, I think she can outstrike it and, take down Carnelossi at will. But again, it's the IQ that I question with her.
Correct. And I think Estela Nunez is a bigger puncher than Piera Rodrigues.
She might be. I don't know. I got to think about that one.
Yeah, I think she is. She survived with Carnelossi survived with Lupita. Lupita was just beating her up, putting her down whenever she wanted to. But Lupita's an elite fighter. She's a top 10 fighter in this weight class. So I'm not going to hold that over her. Angela Hill, legit volume, beast, good takedown defense. A lot of good things to like about both of those fighters versus Carnelossi. But, Estela Nunez, I think, is a arguably a sharper puncher, kicker than Piera. Piera just has the wrestling upside, but the girls that have taken her down are really girls that can kind of bully Carnelossi a little bit. Lupita being one of them. Na Liang, good for the first round. You know what I'm saying? So it's she's really good for the first round, to be frank. So I just feel like I don't know if Piera's got that in her. I don't know if she's gonna be able to physically bully this girl like Na Liang and Lupita, who are big girls for the weight class. So I'm gonna take a dog shot here. I don't know if I'm gonna bet it, but I'm gonna go with the dog here in Carnelossi.
Next fight on the prelims at men's middleweight, we have Abus Magomedov going one-on-one with Warlley Alves. Abus, 25-6-1, fighting out of Germany, hailing from Germany, 33 years old. Alves, 14-7, hailing from Brazil, fighting out of Brazil, also 33 years old. I think this fight is gonna be. I think this fight is gonna be good from an entertainment perspective.
Glass cannons, bro.
2 glass cannons. The fight doesn't go.
100%.
I think unders hit here. Now, in terms of a side, I've never been really the biggest Abus fan. I think he's good. When he was in the PFL, he was like 1 win away from the $1 million, what do you call that, championship fight.
Yeah. He got put out by Put Down the Arms.
Yeah, Put Down the Arms. I can't remember his name.
That dude is a savage, bro.
To be honest, I think if Magomedov would have stood there, he probably could have won a couple of tournaments. I don't think he's whack, but I don't think he's as good as people pump him up to be. And especially since he's come to the UFC. I mean, he knocked out Dustin Stolfus, but Dustin Stolfus isn't really anything to really brag about in terms of a win. That's all right.
Lewis put down the Guns Taylor.
Lewis put down the Guns Taylor.
That is hilarious.
Now, Warlley Alves, this dude's kill or be killed. I mean, he's one of the few guys to pack up Covington before Covington really got his shit together.
Yeah.
But as of late, literally first or second round, he's literally kill or be killed. Except for the Dalby fight, which he ended up going the distance. Dalby having his, what do you call it, like a resurgence.
Correct. He's
on a tear. I like Dalby personally as a fighter. I think Alves is a little live here as a dog. I'm going to be picking Abus to win. I think he's technically got a little less mileage.
I agree.
But I don't trust either of these guys' chins. I slightly trust Abus's IQ and defense a little better than I trust Alves's. Alves, he'll run right at you and he's going to throw the kitchen sink. I do think they both gas. I do think Alves, he might be a little underrated, and not underrated, but I think the gassing thing is a little blown out of proportion. Mm-hmm. And especially, again, we're going to bring it back up again and again and again, the USADA thing. Alves might come in. This is the one I want us to wait until weigh-ins. I think both guys probably going to benefit from USADA low-key, but this one's going to be a dogfight for as long as it lasts. I'm going to pick Abus to win inside the distance, probably by knockout. But I think the play, in terms of a bet, I think
Alves at plus 230.
I'm warming up to Alves because I think this fight should be a little closer than they're lining it.
Considering post USADA, I'm on your side here. And I didn't even think about that. I thought about it for the other fight. Didn't think about it for this fight, especially with Alves being a little older.
We're going to be thinking about it for a couple of these fights.
Yeah, especially like the last couple of weeks. There's been 6 or 7 fights where the guy who probably was shop worn winded up pulling it out of his ass. People may say it's a coincidence, but when you're gambling, it's like you have to start taking that into account because it's like, USADA is a real thing in my opinion.
Gambling will turn you into a conspiracy theorist for sure sometimes. Dude. But sometimes you got to be thinking, hey man, maybe there's some nefarious stuff or some third party outside forces that's working or going on down here.
Yeah,
chances are no. I'm kind of.
I mean, except for that Tisha Torres fight. That was fucking highway robbery, man.
Yeah,
I think they want to push Ricci because she's
not too happy about.
She's a good-looking young lady, and I hate to sound terrible, but she got worked.
I think
she got worked.
I literally think she won all 3 of those rounds.
Yeah, you could argue.
I thought Ricci lost all 3 of those.
You could argue. She could argue Ricci won 1.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't give it to her. I gave Tisha all 3. So, but that's neither here nor there. I like Abus in this fight. Not only for all the reasons my brother said, but also for the fact that he has wrestling upside.
This should be technically a get-right spot for Abus.
It should. But at this line, post-USADA, for a guy who's uber explosive against a guy who's not defensively responsible and gasses after the first round, I feel like Warlley he's live as hell. He might get a play if this line gets more disrespectful. That's something. He's plus 230. Yeah. This and for and you're gonna put minus 285 on a guy who, if he ran down the blocks of the grocery store, he'd gas out.
Yeah, for me. This is definitely like a boost. You need to. This is like a super like.
Get your shit together, bro.
Show me. This is a show me fight for a boost.
Yeah, this is The UFC's trying to do him all the favors, but Warlley is fucking explosive, man. Like, he can knock anybody out in this story. And he has good jiu-jitsu, too. Like, he's filthy everywhere. He's just, his gas, plus he's not cutting to 170 anymore. This is at 185, which I kind of like for him, even though he's a little undersized. Yeah. So he's not going to be too blown out with his cardio. But still, I just feel like Abus he's more, I trust him more on the feet, and I like his wrestling game. His wrestling's pretty good. One, he wants to go to it. I'm not even picking him for the fact that he's going to go to it. I'm picking him for the fact that it's there, and I think he's just better responsibly on the feet. So, Abus, but Warlley might be the bet.
Next fight on the prelims. Women's bantamweight. We got Tamires Vidal. Tratora going one-on-one with Melissa Gatto. Vidal, 7-2, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 25 years old. Gatto, also hailing from Brazil, also fighting out of Brazil, 8-2-2 overall, 28 years old. We got Gatto here, stepping in last minute. I don't know who Vidal's original opponent was supposed to be. Oh, Haley Cowan, of course. We got Gatto stepping in last minute here, coming up a weight class to fight Vidal here. And if this fight was still the Cohen fight, I think I'd be picking Vidal. I'd be picking Vidal because she's big, she's a bully, she's strong, she has power in her hands, and I'm not too high on Cowan. I'm just being completely honest. But since this is Gatto now, Gatto moving up,
she should just be Gatto de Noche. You know what I'm saying? Nightcap boy. I feel like I love her. I love her.
Now,
like, it's her style, everything. So
I do like Gatto here. I think Gatto's gonna win. Do I agree with how wide this line is? No. Am I gonna be picking Vidal as a dog? No.
Hell no.
I think Gatto wins. I think she's the better striker. I think she's the better grappler. I think she's the better wrestler.
And she's big too. She's big for 35. So her moving up is not.
Yeah, this is one I would like to see at weigh-ins because she is gonna come in super vascular.
Actually, big at 25. My apologies.
Yeah,
she's moving up to 35.
Now, Vidal, listen, I'm not saying she might come in and miss weight on some dirty ass shit because she knows Gatto's going to take this fight regardless. But if I'm Vidal on some dirty shit, I might just come in, miss weight by like 2 or 3 pounds, do the Ryan Garcia and give myself any kind of advantage because I do think strength for strength, she might be stronger. And I think she's more heavy-handed. That being said, unless she's pushing Gatto and just cage pushing and holding her against the cage, I think, again, Gatto's the better striker. I think Gatto's going to be able to take her down at will. She had Montserrat Rondon taking her down at will.
Rondon, terrible wrestling, by the way.
I don't think she's a terrible wrestler, but she is, man,
she's slow. She's older.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things. Yeah,
it was not. I don't think losing to.
She's a terrible wrestler though.
It's not a good look.
Yeah,
it's not a good look. Give me Gatto here. Does she finish? I am going to say there is a possibility she does finish. Fuck it. Gatto by sub in ITD, but I'm leaning sub. That's the pick. But maybe for a bet, I don't know how I'm gonna approach this fight.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give this fight too much breath or air. Exactly what you said. However she wants Gatto. To be frank, I think she's gonna outclass this girl. I think Gatto's a real problem at 25. Especially if she decides to start stuffing takedowns as opposed to letting herself get taken down because she trusts her jiu-jitsu so much. But Vidal's terrible, man. Like, terrible. Gatto by however she wants.
Next fight on the prelims, and I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, this one is going to be an extremely short breakdown because we don't have a breakdown. Apparently, they just changed opponents within the last half hour. I don't even know. This was supposed to be Oumar Sy going one-on-one with, what's that guy's name? Let's see, because I got to look for it now.
Who?
Antonio Tricoli.
Who?
Before that, it was supposed to be Rodolfo Bellado. But now he's fighting a guy named Tokkos. The only Tuco I know is from Breaking Bad. That Tuco was a psychopath. Listen. No breakdown here. I think what we should do is probably, when this podcast goes up, I'll probably have a brief written description on which side we like and a little brief breakdown. So follow us on social media. It's probably going to be on the main account.
Yep.
Axis of Combat.
Plug.
Just plugging it. It'll be there. But I guess we're just going to move on because I've done no tape. Again, they literally just changed the opponent.
Yeah.
To kick off the main card, we have at lightweight, the big train. Hey, yo. Tom Nolan.
Horrible.
Going against Vic the Brick Martinez.
Horrible fighter. Horrible fighter.
Why is this kicking off? This is violence. That's why.
Yeah, listen. This should be on the prelims. There's a lot of fights on this card that feel like contender series fights.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's how kind of weak this overall UFC Vegas 92 card is.
Way to set this into Memorial Day week, UFC.
Hey, Jesus. We got Nolan, the big train, 6-1, fighting out of Australia, him from Australia, 24 years old. The Brick, Vic Martinez, 13-5, fighting out of Texas, 32 years old. Like my brother mentioned, violence is probably definitely the way to play this fight. The unders, under 1.5, more than likely. Tom Nolan made his debut against Nicholas Mota. And now Mota smoking on that Nolan pack because that was easy work.
Made money off that.
Last time we seen Martinez
Got knocked out by Jordan Levitt.
got knocked out by the Monkey King. He took him to the jungle gym and showed him what's what.
Jungle Gym.
That's what happened there.
That is fucking hilarious.
Both these guys got knocked out. Both these guys have dog shit defense.
Dog shit.
I'm not too high on Nolan. People are still high on Nolan. Nobody's high on Martinez. Nobody respects the fact that he got knocked out by Monkey King. I'm going to lean Nolan here. I think Nolan should get it done. I think he's the slightly better MMA fighter. Again, I don't like either one of these guys. The pick is going to be Nolan inside the distance because I do think Sub is probably live here. I think it's most likely KO.
Yes.
But give me Nolan as 100% the pick. As for a bet, if Sub is looking crazy, I might sprinkle a little bit on that. And besides that, it's definitely going to be inside the distance. Definitely going to be unders. Definitely fight doesn't go.
Yeah, this fight is borderline 1-800 gamblers. Like you might need to call someone to get some help for this fight because if you have any, outside of the violence prop, if you have any contention on picking a side here, you're crazy. Nolan at 485 is, what are we doing? This guy has no striking defense. He walks into punches. He blocks with his face.
And also, he's fighting another guy in Victor Martinez that kind of fights a little similar to a guy in Nicholas Mota.
Yes.
Where he's going to go forward. He's a smaller guy who's going to punch him in the face.
Correct.
So who's to say Nolan doesn't get fucking rocked here either?
Correct.
We don't know.
And the thing is, I don't like Martinez because Martinez, his wrestling is shit, his grappling is shit.
Yes, gives up his back.
He gives up his back way too much. When he hits the floor, he likes to go on all fours. He's easy to just grapple for a rear naked choke and or just to control the back for the rest of the round and lose minutes. I'll pick Nolan, but man, I feel disgusting saying that out loud. I think this is a terrible fight. I don't know why it's on the main card.
Because it's going to be a fun fight.
That's it. Someone's getting murked. That I'll say. Like, someone's going to get knocked out in this fight. But
good old slobber knocker.
If you do want to pick a side, there's no way you can pick Nolan on the money line. I think you pick Martinez because his line is completely blown out, to be frank, at like +370, which is nuts. Especially against a guy like Tom Nolan who has terrible striking defense. The only reason that Tom is probably the favorite in this fight is because he's bigger. He's much bigger, to be frank.
He's super big. He's like 6'3" at lightweight.
He's huge, yeah. And he should be able to move this guy around, but who knows? Because he's horrible too. So I'm not going to give any more life to this fight. Just get some help if you want to pick a side in this fight.
Next fight on the main card, we have At strawweight, Overkill Angela Hill going 1-on-1 with Luana Pinheiro. Overkill Hill, 16-13. Fighting out of New York City, New York. Represent, 39 years old. Going 1-on-1 with Pinheiro, 11-2. Fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 30 years old. This fight, another fight. This is like a women's showcase card, low key. I think there's like about 4 or 5 women's fights on this card. As for this fight, I think it goes the distance.
Angela Hill, baby.
I think Angela Hill wins this fight. From a betting perspective, I don't like betting Angela as a favorite because she is the favorite here.
Her decision might be plus money though.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's probably not going to be that much plus because that's probably, she don't finish nobody.
No.
And it's her only real true path to victory here.
Volume.
I think Luana probably wins the first round at a very high clip. And I think Hill, because Luana gasses, is going to win the third round at a pretty decent clip. So it really comes down to round 2. If you want to get a better line on Hill, if you think Hill's the side, live bet. But I actually think this fight is just dog or pass from a betting perspective. Hill really hasn't had the best luck when it comes to fights going to distance and going to decision because she doesn't have that one hitter quitter. You know, she don't got heavy hands, unfortunately. She's going to be hard to take down. She is going to be the one with the most volume. Yeah, from a betting perspective, I think Pinheiro is probably the side here. I do think because she is going to be the moment winner. I think she does hit hard. Again, the only problem is her gas. Hill's the pick. I think Pinheiro might be the dog play, but I really don't feel too good about either side. I think the way to really look at this is that the overs, the distance, and probably playing split decision. But that's all I got for this fight.
I'm on Hill's side here, and I like her via decision. But you want the real? The only reason I'm even not tempted to like completely throw money at this fight is just because what are the judges going to say when it comes down to it? And is the UFC brass secretly, conspiratorially looking to push Luana Pinheiro? Because after what I saw with Tabitha Ricci last week, I have no idea what the fuck's going to happen. Yeah. I'm scared, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm terrified for the money that I'm going to put forward in this fight because Angela's going to style on her, in my opinion. I think, and I know they say, like, I know your point. I think Pinheiro should win the first round, but if Angela won the first round too, would you be surprised?
I wouldn't be surprised. I just think, like, Pinheiro, listen, her striking, I think, is actually pretty decent.
It's all right.
I think it's decent, and she hits hard. I think that alone is gonna be enough to get her the first round.
Yeah.
Can it get her the second round? Depends on how much she exerts in the first round. Also, she's got the judo upside, but I don't think she wants to really play around with Angela Hill in the clinch, if I'm being completely honest. I think this is going to be a primarily striking stand-up fight. So, I mean, that's why I kind of like Pinheiro as the dog here. Because I think she's just going to win more moments, and I think she's going to have enough to win rounds 1 or 2. I wish Angela was the dog, because I think it's just an autoplay.
Correct.
Because I do like her as the side, but from a betting perspective, I think it's got to be Pinheiro.
Yeah, I'm not mad at you about it. Honestly, the only thing that's scaring me off of this fight is just that the UFC is probably trying to push this Pinheiro girl, and she might get a fleecing if she loses this fight, but with the judging. That's why I feel. Like, this fight's going to go over. You want to parlay it over? Sure. But
it's not the first time she's gotten a fleecing her go her way either.
Yeah, because she lost to Gomez. She lost to Michelle Waterson.
And she got, again, I don't like betting on fighters who kind of show that.
Yeah.
They don't have that dog. When she fought Marcos,
she was getting worked.
She was getting worked. And to get worked by Marcos, that's a big red flag.
Alarming.
But at the same time, she got illegal. She got an illegal knee.
She rode that shit to the moon.
She looked at, she was like, who's seen that? Oh!
Yeah.
And got the victory by technical decision there.
Yeah, I can't bet a girl like that, man. I like Hill. I think Hill might style on her low key, but let's move on because I don't even know if I'm going to bet this fight just because I'm scared for my life.
Next fight on the main card at men's bantamweight, we got the returning Adrian Yanez going one-on-one with the debuting, not at UFC, but at bantamweight, Vinicius Fenomeno Salvador.
Terrible.
Hit it.
Horrible.
There you go. Yanez, 16-5, fighting out of Houston, Texas, 30 years old. Salvador, 14-6, fighting out of Brazil, 27 years old. Listen,
Get right spot.
this fight feels like 100% like a bounce back spot for Yanez. I think if Yanez doesn't beat Salvador here, I mean, that means these last 2 defeats, because he's on a 2-fight skid, really broke him mentally. He lost to Font. I thought he lost to Font clean. Font just showed him, hey man, there's levels to this shit. And then
Martinez beat him down.
losing to Martinez, I don't think is the worst look, especially the way he lost. Martinez just kicks like a son of a bitch.
He kicks like a donkey, bro.
Now, I don't like the fact that Yanez didn't really adjust to the kicking.
Correct.
So, I mean, that kind of questions, puts into question his IQ. But that being said, I think this is a fight where he doesn't have to worry about any kind of grappling. For the most part, I don't think he's got to worry about leg kicks.
I agreed.
Salvador will throw them, but Salvador is kind of like the Dollar Tree store version of fucking Anderson Silva.
With worse defense and a worse chin.
With worse defense, not as good striking, and a worse chin. Yanez should win this fight. Yanez should probably win this fight by KO.
Yeah.
Inside the distance, super early. Salvador, let me not dogpile on him. To give him credit, his funky striking has gotten him wins. And if Yanez rushes forward or thinks he's got him, just be patient with the guy. I think he could break him down. Just don't run at this boy, because Salvador has most of his wins. I think 80 or 90% of his wins are via KO.
Correct.
Moving up in weight will help his chin and probably his cardio, because I think even in bantamweight, he's going to be big. He was super big in flyweight, but tough fight to be fighting at bantamweight as your first fight. But give me Yanez here. I think he's the pick, and he's probably the bet. But
Second round knockout.
Gotta find the props on this one, because his money line is probably a little too.
It's juiced.
A little too wide.
It's minus 360 in a lot of books, so we're good. And listen, I'm not even gonna add on to that. That was beautiful.
You're beautiful, bro.
I appreciate you, bro. The Knicks are beautiful. The Knicks in 7 is beautiful.
So the next in 6 would be more beautiful, to be honest.
But no, I'm not gonna add on too much to that. That was perfect. Yanez second round knockout for all the reasons my brother laid out so perfectly. So I'll leave it at that. Yanez, I agree. Up and down with what you said.
Featured bout at welterweight, we got the returning Ramiz Brahima going against the answer, Themba Gorimbo. Brahima, 10-4, fighting out of the Bronx, New York. 31
Down,
years
baby.
old.
BX, baby.
Hold it down. BX. You're like my little Fun Flex horns, my little beat.
You need the bomb. So we get that as a sound effect.
Yeah, we don't have that one. Go out one-on-one with the answer Gorimbo, who is 10-4, fighting out of Zimbabwe, 33 years old. Now, this fight, I've been going back and forth. I think originally this was Dorga Pass, but the problem is when I looked at this Brahima line, it got fucking smashed.
Yes.
He opened up like close to plus 200, and he is currently what?
Plus 120.
Wow.
I see why.
I get it. Listen, Brahima, first of all, from the Bronx. So +5 durability, +5 toughness, +5 gangster. He's getting all the stats. Brahima, this is his 5th fight in the UFC. He's been off for a while. Don't know why. So I'm curious to see maybe at media day or find some kind of interview where he explains why he's been off for so long. Brahima, I think he's a good wrestler. I think he's a better grappler. His stand-up, he's got heavy hands, but doesn't have any knockouts. I would say it's serviceable at best. I'm not the biggest fan of his stand-up. I think he can stand, as you know, as you've seen in the what was it? His debut fight was against Max Griffin, right?
Correct.
His chin, I don't think people will talk about it enough. He got knocked down by both Max Griffin and Court McGee.
Correct.
Put him right on his ass.
Yeah, Court McGee got power though.
Court McGee I think that was his third fight in the UFC. Kind of gave him a tour of the octagon, if I'm being completely honest. I don't want to say completely outmatched, but he worked him. I don't think Brahima won a round in that fight.
Worked him like a summer job.
Now, the guys Brahima has fought, packed him up. He did what he needs to do against those dudes. First round, submission, get him the fuck out of here. Garimbo, from a narrative standpoint, listen, I get it. The Rock gave him a house or an apartment. It was an apartment, right? My man had $7 in his.
I think it was a house,
in
actually.
his pocket. Garimbo's actually a nice guy, easy to root for. His first fight against Fletcher was not a good look, but at that time he wasn't with a proper gym. Now he's in a proper gym, and since he's been in a proper gym, has definitely showed improvements in both the stand-up and the grappling. That being said, I think Brahima, if they're grappling, I think he's better. If they're wrestling, I think it's a wash. But in the stand-up,
Dembo's better than him.
I think Garimbo's got better leg kicks. He's got better. He's got more tools. I think he hits as hard or even harder.
Knows how to use his kicks. Knows how to use the lead teep. Knows how to throw the high knee. Can swing. Knows how to follow up the right and the left hand after he throws the kicks.
Now the problem is that his boxing. He fights like a small guy, so that's probably gonna give maybe Brahima some chances to get in. But I favor Garimbo overall in the stand-up. I don't think Garimbo's as bad on the ground as people want to give him credit.
Strong guy.
And I think he's got strong hips. I think Brahima, if he can get him down, because I don't think Garimbo's the easiest guy to take down, especially lately. It's like dog or pass. But I am going to pick Garimbo here. Not with the most confidence, but I do think Garimbo gets this win. I wish the Brahima line didn't get smashed as hard as it did, because I definitely would play Brahima as a dog here. At plus 120, I feel like there's not enough meat on the bone to really get a nice little bite. You know what I'm saying? I want to bite that. You know, I want the juices flowing.
Damn dirty dog.
Damn dirty dog. He's a nice little dog now. You know, that's the problem. So, but if you like the Brahima side, I do think he's, you know, from what I mentioned, I think he's the better. He's the better grappler, and the wrestling he probably could get to. But give me Garimbo here. Probably.
It's interesting, right?
I don't know how.
That's where I'm stuck at. That's where I'm stuck at too. I'm not sure.
I don't know if it goes the distance or he knocks him out.
Yeah, this is a fight. I would say, ladies and gentlemen, I think I gotta do a little bit more homework on.
I don't think he gets the sub, because I'm gonna give Brahima some respect.
His jiu-jitsu is legit, but he cannot. But Demba can definitely knock him out on the feet. Like that can definitely happen.
Or ground and pound.
Yeah, if he gets on top of him, it might be fucking curtains. So
Garimbo's 100% the pick. As for a bet, I'm not too sure.
I don't know where I'm at either. Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Like all the reasons you listed, it's just I think Demba, if he gets on top of this kid though, it might be fucking curtains too. Like he might smash his face. So I don't know. This is probably one of the tougher fights to call on the card.
It is.
No question. So, but I'll lean Demba as well.
Co-main event at welterweight, we got Chaos Williams, the Ox fighter, going against Mozambique. Is that Mozambique? I don't know how to say his nickname. Carlson Harris. Chaos Williams, 14-3 overall, fighting out of Detroit, Michigan, 30 years old. Carlson Harris, 19-5 overall, fighting out of Guyana. Well, hailing from Guyana, fighting out of Brazil. I think I said 19-5 overall. I said that already. 36 years old. This fight is interesting. I think it's probably the hardest fight to cap on this card, only because Chaos Williams, kind of a hard guy to kind of like nail down. I think
we know his ceiling. Like I think we know Chaos's ceiling, and you know even his last fight with Bedoya, we both thought he lost that fight. And
not only did he lose that fight, but he also looked not a step behind, but a half step. He did look a little. Maybe Bedoya just had the faster hands.
And he's funky. He's funky too.
He's a funky dude. Maybe this is a hot take. I know there's a lot of people on Williams. I think Carlson Harris is the side here.
He's good at getting your back even when you're standing up low key.
And I think Harris is the dog, right?
He's the dog.
You're 100% right. I think. Listen, I know Harris doesn't have the most technical striking, but his striking is funky.
And he hits hard.
He hits hard.
He's big for the weight class.
Not only that, but Chaos Williams, I know he has like really good takedown defense, but he hasn't really fought anybody who's going to really grapple him. Now, the only guy he did fight that grappled him was Piera.
Correct.
And Piera isn't really one of those guys who's going to, chain the wrestling or chain the grappling.
Piera respected his power enough to shoot on him.
Harris is that type of guy.
And he's big.
He's a big, lanky dude, submission specialist. He likes the anaconda choke. That's his fucking go-to.
He has one of the best front headlock series in the game right now, today, in the UFC.
I'm going to lean Harris here, and this is just purely just a speculation play in my part. I think Chaos Williams probably wins this fight if it stays standing, because Chaos got power, and Carlson Harris can be put to sleep. But, because Harris was losing that Jeremiah Wells fight until he wasn't.
Correct. And to sub Jeremiah Wells is impressive.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Like, I know people, I understand he gassed a little bit and, he's kind of been a little exposed, but one thing that dude can do is fucking grapple.
Yes.
His striking ain't good, just like Harris's, but he thumps and he can sub.
What's the line? What's the line on this fight?
Plus 110 for Harris and minus 130 for Chaos.
That sounds about
perfect.
right. That's because
perfect.
this fight is literally a pick'em. And
dog or pass.
It's 100% dog or pass, and I'm gonna lean the guy who I think has the grappling upside to test the guy who really hasn't been grappled.
Correct.
And Carlson Harris again has power, is crafty. I know he's a little older, but I don't think he has as much mileage as Williams does as well.
Correct. Agreed.
Give me Harris for the upset pick, and give me Harris for the upset bet. I think this is a dog I might play.
Yeah, I'm with you on this for the simple fact that Chaos hasn't really fought anyone that's really going to wrestle in some. I even think Randy Rude Boy Brown shot at him once. But it was unsuccessful. Yeah. I got to rewatch that fight. But Carlson doesn't need to get you to the floor to take you back.
No.
He gets you against the cage. He's very good at getting to your back. And I know Chaos is a gorilla. Like, he's super strong.
Yes.
But I think this guy's also very strong. And I'm going to take the guy who's a little bit better with the wrestling and the grappling. Don't know if I'm going to bet it, but he's definitely the lean. Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't be too surprised if Chaos is able to, keep the distance and, kind of implement his just striking game plan of, just popping him. He does tend to overextend, though.
He does, exactly. And I can see a takedown.
100% see Harris taking advantage of that.
Yep. And the thing is, if someone like Harris is on top of you, it's going to be very hard for you to get up.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. I know he pops up, but like I said, Chaos has not experienced a guy who can really wrestle, grapple, and kind of put it together. I like Carlson's a dog here.
UFC Vegas 92 main event at men's featherweight. We have the returning Lerone Murphy, the Miracle, going one-on-one with the grizzled vet himself, Edson Jr. Barboza. Barboza, 24-11, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 38 years old. Lerone Murphy, the Miracle, 13-0-1. Perfect. Fighting out of England, hailing from England, 32 years old. This fight is probably the best fight on the card. The most intriguing fight on the card. The best match-made fight on the card. If Barboza didn't have that fight that he had with Sadiq Youssef, I'd probably be leaning Murphy even harder than I am currently. I think Murphy is going to win this fight.
Murphy looked really good against in his last contest. Excuse me. What's homeboy's name? Josh Kulabau.
Yes.
That was impressive because he nearly killed Kulabau like 4 times in that fight. Now, I think Kulabau's underrated as hell, but
I think Murphy is the side. I think this fight probably goes the distance. I like the overs. I don't really see anybody finishing anybody here.
I agree.
They're two smart fighters, two calculated guys. This is going to be a chess match, I think, for the most part. Barboza is, if you like Barboza, he's probably live. I mean, I know he's 38 years old, but again,
post
USADA, he had a really good last outing against Sadiq where he got pretty much almost murdered in the first round, but was able to stick it out and I think win every other round outside of the first round, right?
Correct.
Murphy, I think his biggest hole is probably his wrestling.
Yes.
Is Barboza going to get to the wrestling? Maybe not as much as I think he should. And I think he won't because he probably wants to pace himself here. He knows it's going to be a 5-round fight. He'll mix it in, but I don't think it's going to be enough to really get Murphy out. I like Murphy as a side. I think Murphy by decision. Not with the most confidence. I'm kind of like 50-50 on this fight. I don't really have the most solid read. But again, gun to the head, Murphy, decision. Wouldn't be surprised if Barboza won, though. But I do think this fight goes over and goes the distance. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you for all of that. And Barboza is definitely live as hell in this fight. So I want to give some respect to homeboy, especially after what he did to Sadiq Youssef. Lerone Murphy, biggest hole in his game is his wrestling. But the good thing with him about his wrestling, he's able to get up. And he even fought I forgot Khabib's homeboy's name. And he got taken down multiple times in that fight. He actually gutted out that fight and won it, if I'm correct. Yeah, I see all the green on his thing, but he got taken down multiple times, able to gut it out, get back up every time, and put damage on him. Lerone's going to be very hard. If you can take him down, it's going to be very hard to hold him down. Still don't trust Edson really to go to it. He went to it against Sadiq, but that's because Sadiq didn't want to go away, and he just wanted to mix it in. But even if he does get Lerone down, Lerone's going to pop back up. I like Lerone as a side here because I think he is a very precise striker. I think this is an introductory lesson to people who are not familiar with Lerone Murphy because he fights in London. This boy got shot in the face, dude. He should be coming up to many men every time he gets a chance.
It's literally his theme song. It should be.
Dude, yeah, he don't talk about it either. You know, real G's moving silence like lasagna. You know what I'm saying? With this guy. He don't like talking about that shit. There's a reason for that. But I think this dude has legitimate skills. Like, he is a savage on the feet. His striking, his boxing is clean as fuck. Is training out of Leon Edwards camp too, so I expect him to game plan properly. I like Lerone Murphy. Don't know how I'm going to play it, but I like all the overs in this fight because I think these guys are very technical and very good.
And that does it for UFC Vegas 92 from top to bottom, but we also still have some boxing to cover before we wrap this up. My brother, take it away.
Actually, before we even jump into the boxing, we have Bellator. Bellator, we kind of covered last week with the Patchy Mix stuff. We thought it was the week before, so our apologies, but the Patchy Mix card is this week. Tune into all of that because we're going to have a whole bunch of bets coming on the pipe with that. I believe that's this Friday as well.
Yeah, it's this week for sure. I'm not sure what day it is, Thursday, Friday, somewhere around there.
Correct. So, but we'll jump onto that. We gave you some of the picks on that last episode. Yeah. So tune into that shit. But for this week for boxing, we have two big fights. We have Emmanuel Navarrete fighting Denys Berinchyk. Navarrete, in my opinion, should bury this dude with pressure and volume, just like he does to everyone. He's adjusted to this weight class. He's shown it against Oscar Valdez. I think they're trying to set up him versus Lomachenko or him versus Shakur. And unfortunately, I have to talk like this about boxing because that's what boxing is. It's just a whole bunch of elite fighters fighting contenders to build up the next big fight. And after what Lomachenko did last weekend, there's a high chance he's probably going to be the next fight. If not, it's going to be Tank Davis jumping into the mix and or Shakur Stevenson getting Navarrete. Navarrete, by however you want, I think you probably get him out of there with the volume late. Mid 6 to 12. But we'll see. I want to do a little more tape on Denys, give him a little more respect, but I like Navarrete in that fight.
Yeah, nothing much more to add there. I do like Navarrete. Not sure how he gets it done, decision or inside the distance, but Navarrete 100% the side there.
Now for the bigger boxing fight for this weekend, and me and my brother are on different sides here.
Yes, sir.
This fight's gonna go to decision, in my opinion. I don't see either of these boys getting knocked out. But it is Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. This is one of the most highly contested heavyweight fights that we've had in a very long time.
It's a long time coming.
Both undefeated fighters.
Took way too damn long to get together.
Usyk, the lineal cruiserweight champion, officially moving up. Not even officially moving up. Essentially moved up, almost undisputed in this weight class, in line to become one of the greatest boxers of all time. To be frank, I think he already is. He's top 2 in cruiserweight ever, in my opinion. I think he's 1.
He's currently top 10 pound for pound right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, he should be top 5.
Yeah.
He's a beast. Going against Tyson Fury. I like Tyson Fury in this fight. I don't know who, if you're picking Usyk, I'm not mad at you. Because the last time Fury's been put on his butt outside of Deontay Wilder and Francis Ngannou, who are big punchers, is by a cruiserweight. the speed and all that's going to be there, and it's going to be evident for Usyk. I don't trust Usyk's ability to take body shots at this point. And with someone like Tyson Fury, who's going to walk him down, pressure him, get him tired, I think he's going to lay on him a bit, probably land some big body shots, which Fury is good at getting to, knows how to fade, knows how to angle. He's in incredible shape for this fight because he understands the danger that's in front of him. I expect Fury to figure it out, get it done. Fury to win this by decision.
Now, I have Usyk, and I have Usyk probably by decision here. More than likely. I agree with my brother. I don't think anybody is going to get anybody out of here. I think this fight probably goes all 12. So if you like the overs, if the over is playable, play it. If it's not, stay away from it. Pick a side. The money line is close enough. I think currently Usyk is the very, 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 very slight dog.
Plus 100. To pick him at this point.
I like Usyk. I think Usyk gets it done. I think Usyk is going to give my man Tyson Fury the boxing lesson he has been long overdue. I just think he's, from a technical standpoint, Usyk, I think is just better. I think he works him. I think he works him through all 12. I am worried about the body shots, but Usyk he's got to be over.
He's a master, bro.
The footwork is going to be better. The hands are going to be better. Give me Usyk by decision to do dirt and become
the undisputed champion.
The best. The undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah. And I'm with you again, too, on this as well, too. If you want to pick Usyk, I'm not mad at it because the people who have really been able to hurt Usyk are big punchers. Fury, not a big puncher. And even with the body shots, I just feel like Fury might weigh on him and just tire him out a little bit, but he has to catch him first too. There's a lot. Listen, this fight is so good.
It's gonna be a great fight.
That's why I love when boxing is like putting together fights that fucking make sense at the right time.
Like I said, long overdue too. I mean, I know Usyk is the older of the two gentlemen. I think he's 37. But this is heavyweight.
It's heavyweight. Yeah, it's not.
Age is a little neglectable there in terms of heavyweight. So
these guys are arguably in their primes.
Yes.
So I'm not looking at this like, I hope we get 3 of them, to be frank. That's how good this fight should be from a technical application standpoint.
Yeah.
And that's why Fury is taking this fight very seriously. If you've seen his shape online, I think he's going to figure it out.
And I'm a little afraid because I think when Tyson Fury is locked in, he's scary. He's literally the scariest fighter on the planet. He's pound for pound probably the best heavyweight
ever
when he's locked in.
Ever.
100%. It just depends on how locked in he shows up.
He looks locked in physically. So
physically he is 100%.
Yeah. But if you want to pick Usyk, I'm not mad at it because this is going to be one of the lesser punchers that he's fought. And now Usyk, Fury's not coming in at 280.
No.
That's the other thing. So that's also something to take into account. Is he going to be able to weigh on him? Is he going to be able to bully Usyk? Is he going to be able to go to the body and hurt him? We'll see. I'm going to take Fury tentatively by decision. But don't be surprised if I move on to the Usyk side later this week. I'm there at this point. That's how good this fight is. So follow us on all social media platforms. You guys will get updates as it goes.
And that's it, baby. All the combat sports for this weekend. We wrapping it up. Talked a little bit of boxing, a little bit of UFC, a brief mention of Bellator. That's all we got, though. I'm ready to watch these fights and get it on.
I'm ready to watch these Knicks first, baby.
Oh, Knicks in 6, baby.
Knicks in 7.
This is currently day. This is a what do you call that? Game 5.
Correct.
I'm predicting it. Knicks win. If I'm wrong, fuck me.
But you guys already know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying these visuals right now, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know. Love you guys. Holla at you guys. Next week we're off. There's not really any big fights, including UFC next week.
Are we off next week?
Yes, we are.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
So enjoy the fights. See you guys. Love you guys. Drop some love. It costs $3.99. Holla at ya later.